We'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Hashem Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to you brothers and sisters waiting on the deliverance of our Lord and Savior Yahawashi. Today we're just going to kind of roll into some things, concerning situations that as us brothers and sisters in this faith encounter and how we can better improve on those things as in this walk of truth. And, because we want to deal on these personal, although we relay the information out to the masses on certain things, breaking down scriptures and things of that nature, we also have to work upon ourselves in this walk. And that's a very important aspect that we need to pay close attention to. So we'll open up with Colossians here.
All right. So this is Colossians chapter 1. And verse 12, giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers of inheritance in the saints in light, who hath delivered us from the power of darkness and hath translated us into his kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
To deliver us from that darkness, because see, within the midst of this walk, we'll be challenged with many different things. The darkness that's covering this whole earth, and you being a brother or sister in truth, having to walk through that darkness as sons and daughters of light. So therefore, when we look upon ourselves, we have to fix the internal issues that we are faced with each day, to cast those things through the blood of Yahawashi, through obedience through his word that's given by the Father through the scriptures, to purge out those things that are causing us to fall short of his righteousness. And so with that, we're speaking of those sins that we are walking in. So even in the midst, like we know that the baptism is for the remission of sins, and we have to go after the baptism, go through a thing known as sanctification.
That's right.
That sanctification is the process of casting away those sinful ways. So we have to continuously build upon through the scriptures those things that's going to improve us and cast away those evil thoughts of deceit, of lie, of treachery, of things that that'll bring us into a darkness, bring us into darkness, and cast that thing away and walk in the light of Yahawashi.
That's right. Bring that precept.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring out. This is Romans 8. I'm gonna start at the 35th verse. It says, "Who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach?" So I like to preface this. It says who. We know that a who is speaking of a person, but when you read further, look what it says. It says, "Who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? Shall tribulation?" Tribulation is not a who. That's a situation. These are certain situations that each and every one of us have to go through that to improve upon ourselves. So you're looking at certain categories that are being addressed in this scripture. Now listen to this. Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? So we got to really look at all these different aspects. When you're going through certain things, if you're distressed, is that going to cause you to get out of this truth and go into the ways of darkness? Mm-hmm. See, and we don't want to do that. Distress should not make you want to do that. You should be strengthened by these scriptures. But the beginning of this scripture said who. So when you see who, you're saying, hey, it's a person.
Yep.
But man, when you think about it, it's that person on the inside.
It's yourself. Yep.
It's yourself. You got to think about these things. When you're going through famines, when the money is low, when the food is low, when persecutions come, are you going to go outside of the truth?
Yep.
Are you going to try to do something wicked to get yourself ahead, so to speak? Are you gonna somebody come up to you and put like it says, the sword? Somebody come up to you and rob you, put a gun up to your head. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna get pissed off? Man, I'm gonna go and kill that fool. You know, see, these things will cause you to fall right back into the realm of darkness.
Yep.
And see, this is the thing that we want to address according to the spirit of our of the scriptures, and apply to ourselves, so we can better ourselves in this walk, so we'll be better equipped to help another brother or sister in this walk.
Sorry, a little bit. Yeah.
Probably flip that around.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it around. You good?
Yeah. That's what I see inside. Oh yeah. It says, verse 36. Well, let me start from the top again. Who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. So you're constantly having to address these issues on yourself within this walk. We're killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. So through Yahawashi, man, this is the way that we're gonna get through this thing.
That's right.
Any other way is useless. Is worthless. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's like the brother was saying, is that the who is going to be, ultimately yourself and how you react to those things. Because all of those things were obstacles and that are designed to basically make you react, whether for or against the gospel.
Right.
And when you go even into the parable, that's why it says that you understand. You have to understand the parables that he's speaking as well. And it tells you. Let me see if I can get this, because I had a few scriptures that pop in my head when you read it. Okay, so this is an example. When you go into the parable of the seed and the sower in Matthew chapter 13 and verse 20, it says, but he that receiveth the seed in stony places, the same as he that receiveth the word and anon with joy receiveth it, yet he hath not root in himself, and endureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. Right. So the offense was how he reacted, but it was in part because he wasn't really rooted in the word. Yeah. So the who was, he ended up himself ended up being the separator. Right. Of how he reacted to what the brother was talking about. That you said about dying. About dying daily. Yeah. We have to die daily. Yes. Yep, I got you. This is Luke chapter 9 and verse 23. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. So that's basically forsaking the things of the world, man. Forsaking these things of the world, applying what Yahawashi. Take up your cross and die daily. Meaning you crucify yourself. Yeah, you're crucifying yourself, man. You're conquerors with Yahawashi, man. Basically in a nutshell, apply his principles, man, and you're gonna be good. Because there's the enemy for all brothers and sisters in this walk is sin, man. Yep. The sin. This is Ecclesiasticus 1 and 21. It says, the fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath. The fear of the Lord, which is applying the commandments of the Lord, it drives away sins. Having faith in Yahawashi, it drives those sins away, man. See, when you know that a person doesn't have fear of the Lord, is that they start to do things that are contrary to the will of the Lord, and then they don't see a problem with it. Because that's why people that do that, we're being deceived by our own minds. And see, we always try to rationalize things in our own minds and say, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. We've been around that type of situation. Yeah, see, it's like, well, which man, it's just herbs, man. Yeah. Man, weed is just nothing but herbs. Right. Now you out there, you're not sober minded. Right. You're not super sober minded, and you're susceptible to not pay attention no more, and then fall into the ways of this world.
Yeah, because they're just like in the book of Proverbs, it says there is a way that seemeth right unto man, but the ways thereof lead unto death. And see, those ways are, when you really look at that scripture, is talking about the rationalization of your mind as opposed to the word of Yahweh and Yahawashi. Because we'll rationalize our way straight into death, man.
Yep.
We are constantly up here second guessing all these things when you know the truth is right before you, man. You know, and this is for all of us in the walk. Yep. Brothers behind the cameras, brothers in front of the cameras, and so on and so forth. All the people in the world, man, we are not excluded from this thing, man. This is a daily battle that we have to, we have to fight, man.
Well, I got something for you.
Go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 12. Take heed, brethren, lest there be any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living God.
Come on.
But exhort one another daily while it is today.
Right.
Lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
The deceitfulness of sin, man. You see how much... Man, that's so cold right there. I love that, bro. Man.
I had it on deck before you started speaking. I was like, hey, that's the spirit, man.
Man, that was beautiful.
I had it on deck right before I said, let me just hold this right here. And the brother started speaking. I said,
hey, man.
That's the spirit. Hey, that's the spirit. That's not carnal, bro. That's spirit. That's spirit.
That spirit right there, the deceitfulness of sin.
The brother was just saying about daily.
Daily, bro.
Said the sin will have you.
That's deception right there, bro. Man, because see, when you come into this walk, don't think that you're going to have the same experiences that you had like you had while you were in the world. It's going to be different, man.
Yeah, the angle, your attack approach is going to be different because, see, Satan already has you calculated. He has a spiritual profile on you.
Yep.
So when you get into the truth, he knows that there's certain angles he can't attack you with no more. So he got to counter. You got to come through with a counterpunch.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times that's what happens is like you come in, a brother, you might get baptized or whatever, and then you realizing, damn, some of the same issues you might have been tempted with, you're still somewhat being tempted with, but you're not realizing it's actually coming from a different angle.
It's coming from a different angle.
Because there's certain things that you already won't do. For example, you might not smoke weed anymore, but because for one, you don't hang out with the same people.
Right.
But then you might basically go through certain things that triggered you to smoke weed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you might not be in that same mentality of like, hey, you usually go and kick it with your friends and smoke weed or something like that. But then maybe certain things that triggered you to smoke weed, Satan will just make those things happen more and more.
Right.
And then that's when the temptation might come in to where it's like, man, I just need to maybe take a puff or something.
Right.
That's just an example of something that can happen to
just
your brother.
Like the scripture said in Romans 8, distress. You be distressed and just think that weed may be a coping mechanism for you to alleviate that distress. He's like, hey, man, what's wrong with that? I'm knocking this out so I can be better. That's the deception of the mind, man. And see, you got to be strong enough to understand. See, a man of understanding will see it. You know, he foreseeth these things, and then he's like, oh, look, the enemy's attacking. So how do you build up that? You got to build up that spiritual strength. And what do you do that? The commandments of Yahweh and Yahawashi, man. You know, the commandments, this is, faith in Yahawashi and these commandments, man, this is the tools that the Most High has given us for this time.
The wisdom and stability, knowledge and time. Knowing that you're supposed to go through stuff actually helps you because you're mentally prepared. Then you know how to cope with it better.
This is Sirach 2, starting from the top. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. You see that? He's giving you the instructions on how to defeat this thing. What you're going to have to go through when you come into this truth. Temptation is going to come. This is what's going to happen. Whatsoever, verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Because rest assured, when you come into this truth, you will be changed into a lower state. You may be something in the world right now. You come into this truth. Let's see how you going to endure when your family comes against you, when all your partners come against you, when your immediate and external family, let me put it that way, and you have no other way to get out of this thing.
Yep.
One or two things are gonna happen. The spirit is gonna be upon you to resist and fight that job, or you're gonna become weak. You're not rooted in this thing, strong enough, and then you're just gonna fall right back into the world. And then you'll be up here doing Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
And this is a serious thing, man. These are all the things you gotta really think about in your mind, because I know brothers try to rationalize themselves out of this way, but you can't rationalize yourself. You just put yourself in an abyss deeper. You go deeper into an abyss trying to do that.
Yep.
It says, verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. See, we're going to find out who the real men are in that fire. See, when you're going through things, that's when you find out the truth.
Yeah.
That's how, a friend is known in adversity.
Yep.
See, that's when you know when the true friend comes into the piece, man. Verse 7, it says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. So it's belief and trust in Yahweh and Yahawashi, man. This is the only way. He's given us the guidelines through these scripts.
Yeah, it's like the brother talking about adversity. They even teach you that in sports. You'll see them talking about a young playoff team, and they'll say, you know what, we haven't seen them how they do in a moment of adversity. They're still a young team. We haven't seen them go through adversity.
Right.
So a lot of times they wanna see if like a 76ers, they have a young squad, young talented squad. The talk about them was that they have all the talent to be champions, but have they been through adversity? We haven't seen them go through adversity and overcome it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of people are like, I don't know. But when another team, like a veteran San Antonio team, they believe in them because they've seen them overcome different obstacles.
That's right. That's right.
So you're really not really known until adversity.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
That's why, we talk about the situation. There's a camp out, there's camps out there. There's a certain camp out there that basically gets on other camps talking about, y'all ain't talking about the chip. Y'all ain't talking about the chip. The scriptures told you to prepare thy soul aright to endure temptation.
Come on, man.
You knowing about the chip is just a knowledge-based thing, but the chip is going to be instituted to help you overcome tribulation. Right. So you got to have the strength to overcome the tribulation. You knowing what the chip is ain't going to help you. A lot of people know what you can go to. Listen, man, you can go to certain churches in this city where Edomites are, and they're talking about the chip. Right.
This is known.
So is that going to help them? No, because they're Edomites. According to scriptures, they're through.
Yep.
Now you being an Israelite, you got to basically be growing spiritually to where Yahweh is so much in Yahawashi is so much in you that you overcome. Yep. He that is in me is greater than he that's in the world. Right. That's how you overcome.
And seeing these personal things, man, and don't think, man, that certain brothers are just gonna go through certain things and that doesn't happen to me, or things of this nature, man. This thing happens to all of us, man. This thing happens to all of us. Now listen to this. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. This is common unto man for us to go through these things, man. So this is why that endurance and the steps that the Yahweh and Yahawashi has put forth for us, this is a common thing. Everybody got to go through it, man.
Yeah, he causes this rain and sun and rain and shine on the just and unjust.
On the just and unjust.
It's common to man. It's common to have somebody go through financial distress.
Exactly.
Especially among our nation.
Come on, man.
So a brother in the truth, you're going to go through it too.
You
might go through issues, related to family. You might have issues related to even health.
Right.
What I'm saying? People in the world go through it. You see it on TV all the time. Nobody is immune to those things. It's just going to be how do you deal with it when those times come.
Yep, that's right. Oh, shoot, I don't think about another. Let's see. Right. 34. Let me see here.
Which time we got left? 40.
I thought I had Yeah, so you got different stages within how to address these issues within your own self. You know, the Most High, you know, He'll have us to fast and pray. You know, you'll fast and pray for that help. You know, to get you out of that situation. You know, to help improve yourself. Then you have other avenues of fellowship, being around brothers who are like-minded, because you strengthen each other with that brotherhood, man. You know, these are avenues, and of course, you know, you'll always stay within these scriptures, because without the scriptures, you have no guide in this truth. This is our guide right here. And of course, the Most High gives men of understanding to relay these truths to you, so that they can help you navigate through this walk. Yep. You know what I mean? So we all link, we all assist each other in this as a body. You know, we gather information as a body, because even though you have certain camps out there that are totally, you know, on totally different pages, sometimes they're imparted knowledge that you can apply to your life and improve yourself. Exactly. You know what I mean? So you can't just totally discredit certain aspects, because you can learn from a gambit of things in this world right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it tells you, even Yahawashi said, you know, he says the elders and the chief priests sit in Moses' seat. Yeah. Everything they do when they say, observe and do, but do not do after their works.
Right.
So he even said, be observant of it. He said, don't just, you know, it don't mean just don't completely disregard him. He even said it himself. And these are people he was battling. So certain things that they do, there are certain things when you go into the scriptures, it's on point.
Yep.
He said to follow after that, but other works they doing that's wrong. Yep. Don't follow after those works.
Come on, man. Oh, that's right on point. You know? That's right on point. It says, this is Sirach 6 and 32. Starting at 32nd verse, it says, my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And see, and this is the thing that we have to be praying for, is that understanding in this thing, because when you understand, when the sin comes into your life, you're better able to cope with it, because the man of understanding will be able to see the sin and then apply the knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh and Yahawashi to get himself strengthened enough to resist that sin. Because remember, the scriptures also says that resist the devil and he shall flee. So with this, that sin, because things go in cycles in this walk, there's going to be a time where you're going to have peace. It's going to be peaceful for you, and then all of a sudden turbulence hits you, because it's always going in a cycle. That them spirits attack you at one particular point in your life, and then you resist them, they go away, and you okay, and them spirits go and hit another brother. And you know, and this is how we have to fortify ourselves mentally, through the scriptures, through fellowship, and through that understanding of Yahweh and Yahawashi. It's the only way you're going to be able to get past that. It says, if thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow down thy ear, thou shalt be wise. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. See, man, you don't want to get no counsel from somebody who in the world. Because, see, Jacob had that. He was like, man, let me go over here and holler at my boys, man. And your boys over there smoking dope, man. You just trying to get some information from him. Dude over here married, and then you going to get advice from a pimp. Man, that ain't going to work, bro. The stuff is, you know, you got to get that wise counsel, man, because that wise counsel is going to assist you in this walk. And then guess what? You take that wise counsel, you build upon that wise counsel, and then you help another brother out with that wise counsel that you just got from this other brother. This is how the body works. It works just like that. It says, be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. So that godly discourse coming forth. Hey, man, give an attentive ear. When brothers going through the scriptures, man, breaking down these scriptures, giving you dark sayings, understanding parables and things of that nature, stay upon that, man. Don't go into all this negative thing, the negative things that the world is giving you from television and all this shit stuff that'll inundate your mind with all this negativity. And then guess what? When you stay upon that, whoever you give your mind to has the ability to make you an enemy or a friend of the Most High. So if you're giving yourself unto the world, guess what? You're going to be an enemy to the Most High, man. So you got to stay within this.
Well, I got him right there.
Go ahead, huh?
This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 14. I have written unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I written unto you, young men, because ye are strong, and the word of God abideth in you, and ye have overcome the wicked one. Love not the world, neither the things that are therein. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Sweet.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, is not of the Father, but of the world.
Oh, the lust of life, the pride of... Oh, man.
I was on it right when you said that. I already had it on deck. I had it on deck, when you were talking.
That's lovely, man. That's lovely, man. See, man, you know what, man? This is the stuff that we talking about, man, with the building, man. Man, you keep on applying these principles, man. Not only does it make you a better person, man, it helps you in your walk to be a light to that person who is trying to get into this thing or who may be in darkness.
Yeah. Because, people, we were talking about a situation earlier with someone that I knew from months ago. That I met from months ago, and we were talking about just how, the difference between how, we've kind of been taught, especially like us being on our leaving the situation we are from, how to operate. Right. And then we're talking about just how the impact that you can have by just operating in the righteous fashion. Right. And how you could just change somebody out there that's in the world, man, their whole mentality, man. And they become very appreciative, man. Yep. Very appreciative, and that's how the Most High wants us to be, man, of good reputation. You know what? So someone like that, they could still be in the world, and someone could be like, man, I seen, someone that person you knew, he was out there preaching, and would say, man, I can't say nothing bad about that person, man.
Can't say nothing bad about
because that person, when I was down, they gave me good advice, and look where I'm at now.
So you given that,
you got to be that light, man. Because most the way our society is broken. In the situation, we're not going to go into detail, but in the situation that this sister was in, easily could be manipulated, man, by most men. Most men in our nation would have manipulated our situation a whole different way. Trust me. But, we had to have that integrity and say, you know what, this is not how this is going to be handled. This is going to be handled in this form and fashion, in a righteous manner. That's right. Because I love that godly discourse piece, man, because, with godly discourse, you pick up more wisdom in the truth, and then you can give righteous counsel unto another person. See, like even with myself, man, I'm going through certain things that I'm applying my life to make myself even more better, to where I can give counsel to somebody who's married that's going through something. So you get yourself above, like the scripture was talking about, get at the feet of the elders. See, you can look at those elders in certain situations, like, let's say, for instance, you see an older couple. They've been married longer than you have been married, and you see how their life is structured and is operating properly. Get at the feet of those people and ask questions and get that understanding on how to apply what they're applying, that they've applied in their life, and then apply it into your life. And see how it works for you, man. That's just like a fat man who wants to get skinny. He ain't gonna go and get counsel from another fat man. He gonna go to the fit man to get that counsel because he sees the results. See, you got to see something, man. We are visual people. We're visual people. I see that. I want to be like that. Get with the person who has that and apply the principles of that person so that you can get that thing. That's why fitness people are very, a lot of people that are in fitness are very successful, because they are walking advertising. Right. They're walking advertising. You see somebody out there, it's like a woman, she wants to get fit. She see a girl that she looks at her body and says, I want to be that built. I think I could be built like that. Then they start mimicking them. They start mimicking what they do. It's the same thing in this. You see somebody that's successful at a particular thing, you learn that same thing. Say, hey man, how do I do that? How do I get better at this? How do I? It's just like, you think the woman, when it says that the older woman should teach the younger woman how to love their husband, how to love their children. You think the woman was Tina Knowles?
No, it wasn't no Tina.
That was Tina Knowles and Richard Lawson up in the freaking Corinthians talking about you got to tell your man that he ain't perfect. He ain't perfect for you. That you settle for him.
It ain't working like that, and I guarantee
that's not the older woman that's talking about. It's talking about women that have solid marriages. Their husbands is happy with them. Their children respect them and love them, and you can see it as an example. Like, you know what? I need to talk to that lady if you're a young woman, and I need to find out how to be what I need to do.
Yeah.
To make to be a better wife.
Right.
And she might be like, look, you need to do this, you need to do that. You know, your husband works 60 hours a week. He shouldn't be coming home to no dirty house, or he need to have food ready if there's certain food he likes. Even if he wants to eat that food every day, just make it for him. You know, just make it for him. If he want to switch it up, he'll tell you.
Right.
But if you know that he just like to have the same chicken with the same two sides every night, and that's just the way he is. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Don't go and try and do something else, and then he get mad at you because you went and watched Martha Stewart and tried to get all cute with something, and he looking at you crazy, and he ain't eating the food. And then you get, these are certain things that older women teach younger women. Like, your man is going to have a certain pattern and a certain way about how he does things.
That's right.
Let him have that pattern. That's how he is. And get in where you fit in. You're supposed to aid and be a support to him to help him get to a greater level. Yeah,
and in part for those marriages, the Most High has already set things in motion inside the scriptures for those marriages. When you go into Ephesians 5:32, it says, "Men, love your wives, and women, respect your husbands." Because guess what? Men require what? Respect. They did certain what do they call those things? Statistics,
surveys.
Like surveys. They did surveys on men and women, and they were asking each group. 85% of the men were saying, "Hey, look, I want the respect." The women were asking for the love. Ephesians 5:33 was already written way before the survey was done. So look, the men give that love. Guess what? The respect is gonna come. But see, that's for a well-willed man or a well-willed woman. Because see, a well-willed woman, if she gets that love, guess what she gonna do? She gonna respect that man. That's how it works.
As long as she's not a completely broken soul. She a broken soul, man. You can love her all you want.
That's why you got to put key words like well-willed.
Because see, listen, I got advice from a female family member when I was younger, telling me, if you just love your woman, she gonna do right by you. Just lie. I learned that the hard way. I remember I had a girl that I was dating. I had a girl I was dating. I thought I was showing her love and treating her with respect and all that stuff. Was making sure that I had everything on point. Had a crib, had car, everything. And she couldn't lack for nothing, but she was broken, man.
She was broken.
I couldn't marry her. Now she's back. Now years later, after she didn't want to, settle down, she done got pregnant. She living in her grandparents' house out in East Texas somewhere.
See, that's why the scriptures say, "A wounded spirit, who can bear?" See, when those spirits are wounded like that, man. But see, the problem with us brothers and sisters, man, is that our choices are jacked up. See, when we go into the midst and we decide to choose a man or choose a woman in that arena, then we'll base it off of looks. We'll just be like, "Oh, she look good. That's what I want. Oh, he look good. That's what I want." We're doing it on carnal, on this carnal level, not understanding that those looks are going to fade with time. And see, you're not even messing with this up here. You're not even willing to get an understanding of what's going on up here, so that you can say, "Okay, man, this is a person that can stimulate me intellectually, so that when the good looks fade and everything, I can still be connected with this person up here." Because man, it's gonna fade, man. Look, man, I'm in my mid-40s, man, and I ain't like I used to be. My wife ain't the same as she used to be. Things are starting to change now, man. It's starting to change. And
now it comes to, do y'all really, really like each other?
Do you really, really like each other?
That's the stage.
Yeah, that's the stage you start to get into, man.
Because when the scriptures, when Yahweh created Eve. He says, it's not good for a man to be alone. I'll make a help meet for him, meaning a support, someone that will aid in his greatness.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't say, I'm going to make a bad chick. Now, he did do that.
He did.
The way Adam reacted shows you she was a bad mamma jamma. He said, the flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, meaning she bad to the bone. That's what he meant. That's where that bad to the bone really comes from. When he said that flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, meaning she's bad to the bone. You know? So, but the purpose of her was to be a support, a stay, a help, an aid to him, an assistant to him.
Right.
So that's what you're looking for in a woman that could be a proper assistant, an aid for you. And then on top of that, is she going to be able to help raise your kids to further your legacy?
Come on.
Your father's house.
Oh, man, that's beautiful.
Because, see, it's crazy. I was on, I peep a lot of social stuff. And there's a guy, Giannis. You know Giannis Antetokounmpo? The basketball player for the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah.
His father died. His father died when he was younger. But his father had a huge impact on him. And when you go on his Instagram, now he had his mom was very instrumental with him and his brothers. They're all now like professional basketball players. He's got 3 brothers. Now, on his Instagram, he says, I am my father's legacy. That was so heavy, because amongst Jake, that is like something we don't even think about, bro.
Yeah.
But he thinks about this even after his father is gone.
Come on.
That's heavy.
That's
and we don't even have that mentality as a people.
No.
That's the reason why a lot of our people have no problem sabotaging their kids, man. They have no problem sabotaging their kids because you disregard your legacy. That's what Tobit's father was telling him, man.
Yeah.
He was really telling him about his legacy. About him getting the right woman to have kids with, so his seed, so his race and his people will be great upon the earth, man.
Yep, that's right.
And that's about legacy, man. Legacy deals with lineage, something that keeps going forward, man.
And I know that. I know it's in Malachi somewhere, man. It was talking about that godly seed. I can't remember the scripture.
Oh, Malachi?
Yeah.
Malachi's pretty sure we can find it.
Talking about that godly seed. It says it was talking about dealing with your wife. It's a really good. Oh shoot!
It says Malachi.
Yeah, it's in Malachi.
Oh shoot, Malachi, sure, I can find it.
Okay. Yeah, it's talking about deal not treacherously with the wife of your youth or something like that, because the whole purpose is to bring forth the godly seed. It's Dang, I wish I had
the search on it. I mean, it's short.
Oh, you got it? Oh,
it's real short. It's only 4 chapters.
Yeah, you should see something down. It should be like bring forth some kind of seed, like godly seed. Go here. Malachi. 2 and 15.
Yeah,
2.
I see it right here.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, this is Malachi chapter 2 and verse 15. And let me start at 14. Yet ye say, wherefore, because Yahweh hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously, yet is she thy companion and the wife of thy covenant? And the wife of thy covenant. And did not he make one? Yet hath he residue of the Spirit. Wherefore, one, that he might seek a godly seed, therefore take heed to your spirit and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth.
Look at that, man. Because the thing is, man, you don't want to deal treacherously, woman or man, with your spouse, because the whole purpose is to bring forth the godly seed. See, now, if you've been bringing forth children inside a jacked up house, guess what those children are going to be? Jacked up. Because children, like we said, we're all visual people. They're going to mimic what they see. They see you cursing, guess what they're going to do when they get grown? They're going to curse out they spouses. If they see the man punching his wife, guess what that boy's going to do? He going to punch his wife. See, man, this thing is a cycle of curses that needs to be broke. And that curse stems from sin and transgressions from the Most High. If you do not address those situations, because every situation that we go through, there's a root cause to it. I was telling the brother earlier that upon myself, I'm really looking inside, like the scriptures tell us to examine ourselves. I look at the pitfalls that I've fallen into, but then when I go back into the root of it, I see it. And somebody basically came to me, I was, in the midst of these older people getting some counsel in certain situations, and it was revealed to me, and I was like, I got to address that. The deception of sin. I was applying practices that I thought was just normal, but it was actually sinful. And now now that I understand and I see it, now I have to address it.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you're just going to automatically conquer that sin that day? Nope, it don't mean that. It means that it's a process of getting these things out. You process yourself to get yourself out of that situation. Now, the first thing is the acknowledgement of it, and then you start to apply it. You say, man, I'm not going to do that anymore. You may fall, you may do good for 3 days, and guess what? The fourth day, you fell down. Don't beat yourself up. Get back up. It says a righteous man falleth 7 times and get back up. So, but the wicked fall into mischief. Yeah. So the thing is, you don't want to just harbor in your mistakes. You want to get back up and get back on the wagon and move forward.
It tells you about how things that you hold yourself to, how to you it's sin. I forgot what the scripture is.
Yeah, I remember.
But you know what I'm talking about. It says like to him it is sin.
Yeah.
So it's like if you had a commitment to do something and you didn't do it, to you it's a sin. And really it's It's like if you said like, hey, I'm gonna make sure I get up tomorrow and I'm gonna go to the gym, and then you don't do it, that's actually like a sin unto you because you lied to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not talking about the same old stuff that people think out in the world. A lot of stuff, it'd be other things that later on, if you don't check it, can lead to greater sins. It has nothing to do with, it's deceitful.
Yeah, great point right there, man. Small thing to somebody else, but then it turned into something bigger. Example, you have a situation where you let's say for instance a job, you're required to go on your job, be at your job from 8 to 5. Next thing you know, you get to a point you like, oh, I done got to the job at 8:15,
and you clocked in that you got in at 8,
and you clocked in what you got at 8. Guess what? That's deception right there. Because now you're saying, hey, oh, it's all good. Nah, it ain't all good. It ain't all good. Because that little thing, it starts to spiral. Yep. This is the deception of sin. It'll start to spiral. So guess what? Next thing you start doing, oh, they ain't gonna miss this. You go into the grocery store. You see the grapes over there. You pick off a grape. You know you got the bottom grapes. But you pick one off and you eat it. Oh, they ain't gonna miss that grape. Next thing you know, you go in there the next week, you pick off 2 grapes. Next thing you know, you done ate a whole damn cluster. And you done said, oh, they ain't gonna miss them grapes. But you not understanding, you have to pay for that, man. That's the deception of sin. Yep. It starts off small, but then it takes root and it turns into this great thing, man. Yep. Next thing you know, it starts to affect you in every aspect of your life. You prayed every day, morning, noon, and night. Then next thing you know, you're only praying morning and night. Then you're just praying in the morning. Yeah. Then time keeps on going and you ain't praying at all.
That's the reason why I think we even talked about it before. As far as expectations and things you set with people, like your own relationship. It's like, I'll jokingly say this. If you're a man and you started and you were talking to your woman, and you always open that door the first 6 months of y'all's relationship, bro, you better keep opening that door till you die. Don't set that precedent if you're not willing to stick with it, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Because then it shows you that you was really doing something as a means of a manipulation.
It was deception.
On the level, on the outside looking in, it looks like you're doing something nice. But really, in the beginning stages of that relationship, you were just trying to get in there. And then after you got in there, you stopped doing the things that you were. So that's an example of something that might seem like it's small, but there's deception behind it, and you got to check your mentality about why you're doing it. Because if you do it all the time.
Yeah, man.
Like you gotta know how to. You know the reason. A woman. This is weird. A woman would rather have a man that's consistently bad than that's good. Than that's good some of the time.
Yeah.
It's very weird, but consistency sometimes work for people. You know he's going to be out. Some women just, if they know their man is going to be out late all the time, and that's how he always been, they just get used to it. Is when you switch up, that sometimes they have the problem, because now you're like, man, you used to be home after work all the time, but now you stand at the bar. You don't have a problem with that, bro. Because your pattern is changing. So, and that shows you might have been trying to be deceptive, or maybe you're changing up your feelings for her, and that's how she might look at it. But that's just with anything, like the brother's saying. Things that we're talking about is things that sometimes you got to check yourself on some smaller stuff on, that really just leads to bigger problems. Could lead to bigger problems.
It's that's so true, man. That's so true, man. This is the subtlety of sin, man. And see, we always looking at these little small things.
And that's dealing treacherously. I'll give you a prime example. Relationships. Especially with the laws, women are allowed to act treacherously. Look up the word treacherous. Okay? They're allowed to, in the court system, they could do all these things to manipulate. They'll do all the right things for the wrong reasons. So they'll love on you, tell you love you, be there for you. Like you play basketball. You hooping, you play for the San Antonio Spurs. You dating this bad chick. She thinks she like you. She's always, hey, have a good game, baby. She there. But let one day you come through, you have like a major injury that they like, man, we don't know if this guy's going to come back from it. He's still on his rookie deal. He's only a second-round pick, but he was about to be a free agent. He's going to miss out on potentially $150 million. Now you're going to see where she really was there. Like the brother was talking about. It's known in adversity.
In adversity, that's right.
Now she getting DMs from Von Miller or from whoever, some other dude that got more money than you. And she not responding back to them jokers while you sitting there nursing your injury.
Come on, man. That's real, man. This is real stuff, man. And you know what? And the thing is, man, this is the stuff that brothers in the truth, y'all gonna have to deal with, man. Y'all gonna have to deal with all these things, man. This ain't just for people in the world. This is for people who are in the truth too, man.
And that goes for men too. Because a lot of men, y'all loved y'all's women when they looked a certain way. But then when they started getting older, you didn't like them no more. And some of you guys do the same thing, man.
So you like, man, I want to get that younger model now, man. I'm tired of this. You know, this car is old and shaking now. I want that brand new tight model.
You don't want to do a restoration.
Come on, man. You know, and I'm telling you something, man. When you start to connect with your woman up here, man. You know, I know a lot of brothers be like, I ain't trying to hear nothing, my woman. You know, she talk too much. Yeah, women got. Hey, look. When you go into that love, respect thing in Ephesians 5:33, that's one of the things that you would. Patience. This is a virtue of the fruits of the Spirit. It's long-suffering, patience. You have to have that thing, man. We like to, man, we kind of like, let's say, for instance, a woman have a child. She have a child. And the wife, you come to your wife, you say, hey, baby, so-and-so them had a kid. And you know what happens? You look at that and she'll say, well, what they have? Oh, yeah, she had a boy. She had a boy. The woman be like, well, how much you weigh? I don't know. What time she have? I don't know. You ain't really a stickler on the details of that thing. You just say, oh yeah, they had a boy. But when the woman come in, she's like, oh look, baby, they had a boy. Had him at 752. He was 8 pounds 3 ounces. You know, they attention to details. See, this is the patience that you have to have with that woman on the side. But for us as men, we don't want to. Like, man, okay, they had a boy, cool. I'm done.
Men are dealing with more important things sometimes. Women like to deal with more small talk. You get that sometimes. That's where you got to be patient.
Like me and my wife, we do a lot of. We have to drive a lot because we always going to different people's houses and getting into all these different activities of ministering and mentorship programs and things like that, helping other people out. And, you know, we have to have, you know, sometimes it's like shoulder to shoulder. You know, we'll be in the car. Sometimes I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. So she has to respect me in that manner and be like, okay, my baby don't feel like talking right now. Then sometimes, you know, I talk to her. But you're judging the situation. Oh, is that 1 minute?
1 minute.
Oh, wow.
It's done.
Oh, dang. That thing went quick, bro.